You guys have no idea how many times I tried to start the series. Back in like 2025, this was supposed to be called Unfiltered or like No Filter. And then I wanted to like do even more than just like talk about my thoughts on skincare products unfiltered because I feel like usually when it comes to my reviews, I've always been unfiltered. It's just that I am scripted, like heavily scripted, because I need to make sure I have everything in front of me so I don't miss any talking points. But this time around, I wanted to make this podcast series. I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I never found like the right time to do so. Not to say that, we need a right time and day to start a podcast, but I want to make sure I know exactly what the goal for the podcast is, because in the past I thought I had a goal, realized it wasn't really a goal, and then I spent another year thinking about what I really want to do with this podcast. And so I arrived at Beauty B-Side, which is a mini podcast series. I don't know about the format yet. I'm okay with like the vertical for now, but my mind might change in the future. So for now, it's called Beauty B-Side, and it is a mini podcast series on this channel where I don't just talk about products, although I will talk about products, I would say like occasionally, like today's episode, I do have some things planned for today's video, but I'm also gonna try to not rely on the script too much. I do have some talking points where I'm like, things are bulleted, but I don't have every thought and idea written down like I normally would for my videos on this channel. And for the most part, I would say like this podcast is 99% unfiltered, or I should say unscripted. Yeah, unscripted. And for sure, 99% just me not holding back. I'm thinking that the series will not be sponsored by any brands in the future. I don't expect myself to, honestly. I think the whole point of this podcast is to be as, oh, the word is unedited. I'm trying not to edit that much. Something's on my face. I'm trying not to edit that much. So anything that happens will stay in the podcast, basically. Also, my mic is being clipped on Amber Section's modeling mask, not sponsored. I just happened to pick up something near me, and I just finished this modeling mask, and I was like, oh, I can use this to hold my mic because this mic is so tiny, and I would always end up dropping it. What if I'm holding it on its own? So I needed to clip this on something. Usually, I have like, where's my sunscreen? Oh, usually I have this sunscreen. My favorite sunscreen by Dr. Surical. Usually I clip on this, but I was like, let's change it up and clip my mic on something else. But anyways, yes, welcome to our podcast. This is episode 1, and I'm very excited. Like I said, I have always wanted to do a podcast. I can yap for days. And the biggest problem I have right now is thinking about the storage of all the memory and all the data that I have when it comes to storing footage. In case you didn't know, if you're not like a content creator, you probably don't care about this at all. Or if you're someone who isn't exactly a digital person at all, like let's say you don't take photos, you don't document things, right? You don't really have to think about this. But people like me who make content have to think, and people like me who are poor, okay? We are baroque on this channel, but people like me who want to make content, but don't necessarily have a lot of money to spare when it comes to purchasing extra storage and things to hold all the footage together. It's a big problem that I have to think about, and because I'm also a yapper, my video like the raw footage they tend to be a lot. Like I would say maybe 7 GB per video, and that's for the scripted ones, meaning that I have everything planned out. So that means I don't have to cut too much. I don't have to go off the cuff very often. But because this is a very unfiltered, unedited podcast series, I'm just really worried that I'm already on 5 minutes right now, right? So I'm already like worried that I will run out of storage space very quickly. And I'm trying my best to use like the lowest video setting. And part of the reason why this podcast took so long to get off the ground was because I was like, which camera do I use? Which format? Do I want to do vertical? Do I want to do traditional horizontal style, like landscape, in terms of the format? I don't know. And all that factors into like how much storage do I have? to keep this series going, right? And so I thought, at least for the first episode, we're gonna be a little fancy. I'm gonna use my favorite camera. I just think this camera is better in terms of like capturing like the depth of field. Like I like that, the background is a little bit blurred, so you can't really see all the mess. A part of being unfiltered and unedited is just um, being able to be my true, true, true self. I have so many versions of me. You guys have not seen them all. Like, I have my vlog channel now where I do get to talk more about like things I am concerned about in terms of like things outside of the beauty world. And I thought about putting this series on the vlog channel, which is A Boy and the Moon. That's my vlog channel in case you guys didn't know. But I was like, I think in order for me to reach, my key audience, which is you guys who intentionally subscribe to this channel, the skincare channel, I thought maybe, it's best to kind of keep this series on this channel because it is, essentially still about the beauty world and stuff like that. But anyways, the goal of I still feel that thing on my face. It's like a fuzz or some kind of like, I don't know, some kind of thread. It's really annoying me right now. This is going in the cut. Again, I'm not going to edit anything out, or I'll try not to. If and when I have like this gigantic pause, which is really awkward, I probably will just trim that away. But for the most part, this will be a highly unedited podcast. But I haven't even talked about like the goal of this podcast, right? So I feel like when it comes to beauty content creation, I don't consider myself an influencer, but in the world of influencing, which I unfortunately get grouped into, um, I think there's just so many things that go uncovered or like swept under the rug, and people are like, hush hush, don't talk about this if you want if you want to remain in this industry. And I feel like I tried my best to play by the rules when it comes to content creation, right? I try my best to make sure that I don't piss people off. I don't, ruin my relationship with brands. And as hard as I try, I still feel like I'm getting screwed over by people in the industry, by marketers, by brands. And so at this point, I'm like, you know what? It's like if I keep my mouth shut on a lot of things, it's not like I'm benefiting from keeping my mouth shut. If anything, I feel like I'm just like being my true self. And to counter that, I'm like, you know what? At this point, I feel like my channel is at the lowest it's ever been. In case you guys don't realize it, people who make content, we have to manage and monitor, I should say, our views. And I know I'm going off on a tangent right now, but we have to monitor our views. And I've noticed that ever since I've spoken up about um, the genocide that's happening, right? This platform, YouTube, has been using its AI system to track what I'm saying and therefore have been shadow banning me. If you look at other creators, right? Other creators don't really talk about, oh my gosh, hold on. This thing on my face is really annoying me. And I wonder if like it is my mic, like the dead cat that's on my mic. I can't really see what it is. There is nothing on my face, and yet I feel something. I feel something. And it's annoying. What was I talking about? This is why I need script, right? Because I always pause and then I think and talk about other things that have nothing to do with the actual content. Oh, and by the way, my camera battery is telling me that it's about to die in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. So if I have to cut the video, it's because I just have to, change a battery and use my backup. But anyways, I feel like in this industry where you're told to keep your mouth shut if you want to have longevity, I've done that. I've tried my best to do that. Not to say that I've hid anything from you guys, but I also feel like if I keep playing by the rules, I'm not gonna. There's no benefits to keeping my mouth shut about things that matter to me. For example, political issues. Me talking about you know boycotting brands or um, bringing up information about which brands are affiliated with the party that is committing genocide on Palestinians. I noticed that ever since I took to social media. If you guys follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, I say this all the time. Brands have started to drop me off their PR list, and I knew that was coming because That's just how this industry is. It's not even just like the beauty industry, it's like every industry. If you are, speaking about things that are challenging the government, it's like, well, let's shut him up or shut them up. I knew that was coming. And so I wasn't even like worried because I'm like, if the brand and I align in our values, we will eventually make things work and brands will find me, or the right brands will find me to collaborate. And I came to peace with that a long time ago. But it was just really the formatting where I'm kind of stuck with like, "Oh, how should I film this? What should I do?" I'm already 12 minutes in, and I feel like I haven't even gotten to like the main point of the video. But that's the goal of this podcast. It's to kind of take a look at the B side, right? The things that people are not voluntarily talking about. That's what I want to cover on my channel here via this podcast. I'm still going to make the other videos that I love making, reviewing brands, trying products with you guys, even dabbling in K-beauty in terms of like cosmetics and makeup. I love making all those videos. But I just wanted to have and reserve like a corner on this channel to really be super real with you guys and talk about things that really matter to me, and that's what Beauty B-side came to be, or that's how Beauty B-side came to be. That's how the conception of this podcast happened. So, without further ado, I do want to start, diving into the main purpose of this podcast, or this episode of this podcast, and it is to talk about 6 viral Korean skincare that I don't think you should buy. I don't think it's worth your time. I don't think you need to spend your money on it because I feel like, in this economy, every penny, every dime that we make, it comes from our blood, sweat, and tears, right? And so I don't want anyone to be wasting their money. And in the past, I have recklessly recommended certain products where I'm like, this is great because I tried it for the first month and then I kept trying it or kept using it. And I realized also, oh, dang, it's like, it's not doing anything. It's almost like a placebo. And so I want to point out a few products today that I think are not worth your money, especially because I think a lot of the products I have mentioned here are pretty expensive. They're not exactly affordable, and I feel like the brands out there are just scamming us at this point. They are lying to us, and a lot of influencers are basically on board with lying to us, and I'm not okay with that. And so without further ado, let's dive right into the main portion of this podcast. Here we go. When it comes to dark spots, hyperpigmentation, fading them, right? There is one product that I kept seeing, or I should say, still keep seeing. I keep seeing them still being marketed and sold as this kind of like miracle serum that everyone loves. And at this point, I don't even think it's a brand's fault. I think there are just so many, like the content creator space is so oversaturated right now. I feel like there are just so many of us, and not to say it's a bad thing, but it's just like there are a lot of influencers who are in this beauty space without the intention of actually doing what people like me, right, reviewers are doing. When I do my skincare reviews, especially now, even more than before, is to do my due diligence and my research and make sure that everything that I say on camera makes sense. And sorry, I shouldn't say make sense, but like things that I say have to actually come from my true understanding of what's going on. And I just see a lot of influencers, especially newer ones, who are trying to get their quick PR packages or a few coins, right, from brands for saying what the brands want to say. And because we have so many influencers like that, it's hard to understand which product actually works. And that's a huge problem because I feel like if there's no trust in our community, then there's no real reason for there to be any influencing or influencers slash influencing. The more people we have who are not truthful, it just hurts the community. I already see, like, I'm on like different Asian skincare Reddit subreddits or threads, and I'm already seeing people questioning, a lot of content creators and their integrity. And to me, integrity directly affects my character. And I don't like when my character is challenged because I'm out here trying to be as truthful as possible. And then there are content creators and influencers out there who are just like, I'm here to get PR and to say what the brands want to say. And then the community, you guys, right, catch on to it. And it's like, well, if one person lies, then who's to say that the entire wealth of content creators and influencers are not lying to us? And that's a huge problem. Do you see where I'm coming from? That's a huge problem. And so, anyways, that's a whole sidetracked thought of mine when I realized this product did nothing for me, and it is Access Wise Dark Spot Correcting Glow Serum. It did nothing for me. However, I keep seeing marketers, I keep seeing a lot of influencers saying that this product's changed my skin. This product did all that. Sure, this product is really hydrating. It does do pretty well when it comes to like pore care, but for a product that or a product that calls itself the dark spot correcting glow serum, there's really no dark spots correcting at all. I tried this product. I gave myself 2 months to try this product because I do have this really big dark spot here, right? Oh, my camera's dying. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta change the battery. This is why I really should invest in like a dummy battery for this camera, only because of moments like this where I'm like literally mid thought and then my camera battery dies. But I think I was talking about how this product just doesn't do anything for my skin. And I gave myself 2 months to really try this out. And I was really hopeful because I try to give my peers the benefit of the doubt. If a lot of my peers say that this product is really good, then I'm like, okay, cool. I'm expecting better results. And so I do have a dark spot here, and I say that all the time on the channel. I told you guys many many times, and sometimes I'm really glad that I decided to make this podcast like a video podcast so that I can show you guys things on screen. But anyways, this is why I need script because Ray is too old. He's forgetful. He gets lost in his thoughts very often. A lot of my peers, I'm not going to name anyone because there isn't like one person that said this was a great product. There's so many of my peers out there who are saying that this product is so good. And sure, like I said, it's great for hydration, great for pore care, but it's not good for dark spot clearing. And for someone like me, I never really considered like dark spots a true concern. I'm like a fan of freckles. I'm a fan of like beauty marks. However, what I'm not a fan of is acne scars because that has nothing to do with my natural skin. That has to do with this pain of acne, and then once the acne leaves, it leaves a scar, and that pisses me off so much because I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. At least freckles and beauty marks are like kind of unique, but like acne scars to me is like, what the heck is going on, and why do I have to suffer through this? So for me, I just like taking care of my acne scars. This thing was an acne scar. I have a few here. Like the smaller ones, this dark spot serum do a few things to really help with it, but when it comes to like your larger spots, that the serum can do, and I just keep seeing this serum being marketed as this miracle serum where it will fix all your dark spots, and it's just simply not true. And I need people in our community and like our content creation space to just kind of like say, hey, let's just tell everyone what it is. Like this serum is bogus. And I have never been sponsored by Access Y. They tried to reach out to me, I think twice in the past. And the first time I missed their email, so I never got a chance to reply to them. And then the second time, that was when I already knew like this brand is just not really doing the things I needed to do. Access Y has never released a product where I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like truly groundbreaking. Oh my gosh, it is like so great. So by the second time they reached out, I was already like, no, thank you. I don't think it'll be a good fit. I just think like our values don't align, and that's really big when it comes to which brands I work with. And so I'm sure there are some peers of mine who have gotten a contract from them, and they're like, if they get paid a couple $100s, they'll say good things about the brand. Not saying that everyone does that, but I feel like I understand if and when people do that, right? People, influencers and content creators do that. Literally, it's part of their job, right? I just wish that there's a way for them to be a little extra careful and mindful with the people, the brands that they sign contracts with, because if like for me at least, I haven't gotten paid by a brand since 2024. Did I get paid in 2025? Yes, I did. The last contract I have, I believe, was April 2025. So since then, I have not received any payments from any brands, and I can honestly swear the few contracts I've ever had as a YouTuber, as a content creator, why is there so... You know what it is? Hold on. I applied this right before filming, the PDRN stick balm, and this sticks everything in the air, every single particle on my face, and I forgot about that. And I was like, I want an extra little glow on my skin, to be on, before I get on camera. So I put it on and now I regret it. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yes. Okay, so contracts, right? When I have, in the past when I've signed contracts with brands, I read through them thoroughly. I have my PR manager read it with me. If there's any language in the contract that says Ray has to say XYZ, talking points in the video, I will immediately, I'll say, no, thank you. Can we, or I'll say, can you change that part of the contract because I don't feel comfortable saying things that I don't believe or I don't feel is true. At least true to my experience, right? So I always make sure that my contracts are always flexible and like open ended, where I get to speak freely, right? If I sign a contract that binds me to certain language and certain words that I have to say, certain keywords I have to say, it's a big no for me. And the only time that I'm okay with it is when it's not paid. If it's like a gifted collaboration and they want me to hit certain key points, I'll be like, okay, fine, if it makes sense. If the product actually does those key points that the brand says it would do, I'm okay with saying that because it's true. But if a brand is like, yeah, our product doesn't actually do much, but can you say this? I'll be like, what the hell do you mean? Like, you're trying to piss me off at this point. And then there's also brands. Oh my gosh, I'm dishing so much tea. There are brands who will send me products, and this happened many times. And the reason why I'm being kicked off so many PR lists right now is because I go against what they want. They will send me a product. Let's say they send it, I receive the product on a Monday. They're like, you have to post by next Monday, and I'm like, well, I only have 7 days to try the products, and then not even. I have like maybe 5 days to try the product, film it on the fifth day, and then post it 2 days later. I was like, that doesn't make sense. And then they'll be like, that's fine. What you can do is you can lie verbatim. If I could find those emails, I'll try to show you guys, but I'm trying not to do a lot of like visual effects on this podcast. They'll tell me that you can lie and say day one, and then you'll record your second or third day of using a product, and then you just say, this is my 30th day. And I'm like, first of all, you're lying. Second of all, who even does that? And that's what I'm going to talk about this in another episode, so stay tuned. But this is what pisses me off about K beauty once they became so popular in America. The marketing strategies they are using right now are so different. And this, I noticed, has changed just in the course of the last 2 years. Up until 2023, us UGC creators, or UGC, I guess, yeah, creators, content creators, influencers, we had full we have full reign on what we wanted to do. And then I noticed that 2 years ago in 2024 was when things really changed. We're getting a lot more emails with these like guidelines, with these like talking points, with these lying incentives for us to make contents with. And I should have like known right then and there, like, this is not something I want to be a part of. But I still like K beauty. I still get excited when new products come out. What I'm not excited about is the marketing strategies that a lot of brands are using, which is very against my morals, my ethics, my beliefs, and for sure they go against the FTC guidelines. And it hurts knowing how much the landscape changed. Not sure if I'm allowed to say this on camera. A lot of my K beauty marketer friends who reside and work in Korea, they left their jobs because they also notice how so much of the landscape is changing so quickly, especially once K beauty hit America. And all these K beauty brands, they want Americans to love their products so much because the American dollar is just supposedly better. It's hurting the industry as a whole. Whereas I think K beauty really thrived in being truthful and being truly helpful to our skin, right? And I think there's this feeling of everything has to be rushed, everything has to be done quickly. Whereas even back when K beauty had like the 10-step routine or whatever, right? It still reminded us that like we should take our time with these products. We should take our time letting our skin really let the products work into our skin. But now it's like, what's the next trendy product? What's the next trendy ingredient? We've seen PDRN rise and then quickly drop off, and now we're talking about EGFs, right? To me, the marketing strategy changing so quickly when it comes to K beauty hitting the US market, contributes so much to why I, for example, with this Axis Y Dark Spot Serum, right? I noticed that, this type of strategy is now affecting how I'm perceiving K-beauty, especially with this dark spot correcting serum by Axis Y. It's not exactly a product that I would even consider before people are talking about it, right? Like I've seen this before it blew up. I've seen it before TikTok made it popular, right? From the beginning, I was like, this doesn't seem like any kind of product that would actually do a thing. I looked at the ingredients, right? I think it's like niacinamide. I don't think there's ascorbic acid, but I think there's ethyl ascorbic acid or 3-O-ethyl, wow, I can't speak today. Ethyl ascorbic acid. And I think that's kind of it. And if you truly want to like fade dark spots, I'm not saying that there's one ingredient that trumps all the others, right? But I just feel like it's selling a fantasy. It's selling a promise that it's going to do something. And obviously, if that promise is broken, the consumer, you guys, right, don't have to, or you guys cannot, I should say, blame the brand, right? Because the brand is like, well, it probably can help you with fade dark spots, right? Even like content creators will say language like that, where it's like, it probably can do this. It works for me, right? So, and I'm very careful with that too. Like, if a product really helps fade my dark spots, I will say it. If it hasn't, I can't make that claim and say it did. You guys have eyes. You guys can see if this dark spot faded, right? It's getting really dark. Do you guys mind if I like change the lighting a little bit? I feel like it's a little bit dark right now. Okay, I'm not sure if that did anything. I think my lighting is just like that's all you get. That's all the light you get. But yeah, back to this serum, right? It's not a product that I think is worth your money. Now, obviously, I'm gonna tell you guys products that I think is worth your money if I'm going to tell you that a product is not worth your money, right? So when it comes to fading dark spots, and I say this, I've said this multiple times on this channel before, and there is really only one product that I truly can say that faded my dark spots, and that was before this one developed. It is Neogen's what's it called? Real Vita C22 serum. They keep changing the name, but it's like along that line. And I think Neogen only has one vitamin C serum. That one has a very mild formula, and it actually will sting a little bit, right? Even though it's a very mild formula, it still stings a little bit the first couple of times you use it because your skin has to adjust to that kind of pH level. And maybe that doesn't happen anymore because it's been a while since I've used that serum, and I really want to use it again. It's just so hard for me to find it at a reasonable price. I think it's at like a safe $25 mark right now. It used to be like 19, and then the tariffs hit because of our stupid president. But now it's like 20. I've seen it for $32 at one point. I was like, I'm not paying that much money for that vitamin C serum. I'm okay with it, or I'm okay without it, right? But it is a very mild formula. I think you guys will like it. It has it's like a mixture of like a oily slash serum kind of formula. So it's a really nice texture. I really, really enjoy it. But it does also have like that iron smell. Like, the one that comes with every single vitamin C serum ever made in the market. And that's how you know it's like truly truly an ascorbic acid, right? It's because ascorbic acid is so unstable, and that's why you have to use it immediately once you open a bottle of it. But I do recommend that one a lot, Neogen. I think it was my first vitamin C serum ever. I was really scared back then. In case you guys didn't know, I think like in 2021 when I first used it, and I had to review it, right? And I was like, I'm so scared because I've never used vitamin C. I've heard so many things about it being unstable, and I was like, it's gonna destroy my skin. It ended up being my favorite vitamin C serum till this day. Like I can't find any vitamin C serum that can actually replace it. Yes, I've tried like different like Dear Claire's. I've tried it. I like Dear Claire's, but I feel like what Neogen gives me a better result. But Dear Claire's is actually a lot more affordable, so maybe I will go back to Dear Claire's. I don't know. But yeah, Neogen has been like the first and only vitamin C serum, like true vitamin C, where it actually helps me a lot with my dark spots, and I really, really like that serum. Then there's also Jumiso's All Day Vitamin Pure C 5.5 Glow Serum. I have to read it off my screen because it's such a long name. Now, this serum is not as powerful. It is affordable though. It's not as powerful. It does sting a little bit because it is a pretty potent kind of serum. Even though I don't think it's as powerful as Neogen, I feel like it's like almost like at the same benchmark as like Dear Claire's, right? But I do think Jumiso's vitamin C glow serum, That one does a better job, a way better job than Access Y. And I feel like the smell isn't as strong as Neogen. So if you're like, ooh, I really can't do that vitamin C iron smell, it smells like blood. If you can't do that, I would say try Jumiso's. Jumiso is also very like unstable. Like it will oxidize so quickly. Same as Neogen. Neogen took like maybe like 15 days to quickly oxidize. I was like speed using it. Same as Jumiso's. So I would say, keep in mind with that. Keep in mind about the oxidation process with these two serums. And then I do want to recommend a product that will not oxidize, and it isn't exactly a vitamin C serum, but I think it's a really good alternative for those of you who are like, vitamin C serum just cannot work for me because my skin is too sensitive for it. Mary MA, or I should say Mari MA, that's how you truly pronounce it in Korean. Mari MA's tranexamic acid plus glutathione eye cream. It's an eye cream, like they designed it as an eye cream. I use it as a dark spot cream because why not? It's an eye cream, it's meant for your face anyway, so you might as well use it in different spots of your face. Now, this one is only effective if you use a spicule product, or if you use like the Medicube Booster Pro or any kind of like poration device. You have to open channels on your skin for this eye cream to actually penetrate deep enough in your skin where you have the dark spots. Otherwise, it's just gonna sit there. Obviously, you can use this as an eye cream. That's totally fine. It does help me with like my under eye area, especially when I have really bad sleep. Like I notice that there's a change. But the point of this video or point of this podcast is to say that this eye cream is a really good spot cream. You don't have to use it just as an eye cream. And the most important part about this eye cream, it is so affordable. You can get this for $7 for like 30 milliliters. I think that's a full size. There's also, I think, like a 10 milliliter trial size. Don't get that one. It's not worth it. Trust me. Get the full size because you'll get more for your money that way. But yeah, I think these are the three amazing alternatives to Access Y's glow serum, especially if you want to fade dark spots. I think these three are like really worth your money and worth trying. I do want to start moving on because this is getting to be a very long podcast episode, and I know each episode is going to be different in terms of lengths depending on how much I yap. I do want to be mindful of our time together, right? I don't want to keep you on for too long. The next product is Arencia. Now, originally, all my bullet points have been written for a whole month already. I've been sitting on this draft for so long, but something has changed recently about this product. So, sorry, I didn't even mention the product. The Fresh Green Rice Mochi Cleanser. It's the one that comes in like a tub, but they also have a tube version now. If you guys have been on social media in the beauty space in 2024, when this brand and this product launched and it was like all over social media, you will have seen influencers, receiving this gigantic tub of Arencia's cleanser, and you'll see influencers like playing with it, scooping it up by the hand. You'll see them like kneading it as if like they're contributing to making the mochi. They're not. It's already made. I don't know what they're doing. I hated this cleanser. I know there are people like James Welsh loves this cleanser. I know there are other influencers who like this cleanser. My sister loves this cleanser. She has dry skin and she loves this mochi cleanser. Ironically, me, someone who has oily skin, I cannot use this cleanser. It it hurts. It hurts me. Like it hurts me a lot to use this cleanser, truthfully. And I actually have like a bone to pick with the marketing team. I don't know if there's, that person is still around in the team, but the reason why I don't accept any PR from them anymore is because of the marketer from 2024 who reached out and was very rude about me submitting my videos, because I'm like, again, you sent me the products like 4 days ago. I can't be making this video like today and then posting it tomorrow. Like that's what they're expecting me to do it 5 times. They wanted 5 videos from me. I think I eventually only, posted 3 and called it a day because I was like, I can't even talk anymore about your products because it's actually really boring. There's nothing there's nothing exciting to say about these products. And I was very opposed to making those like gimmicky, eye-catching, shock value content. Like I was not about to, ball up some of these or mochi cleansers and like string them into a skewer and then pretend like I'm eating it. That is something I absolutely will not do. But then, you know, then again, fast forward to now, my sister told me that, like, because I gave her the tub that I couldn't finish. I was like, here, finish it for me. I think you'll like it. I hate it. Or I was like, try this and see if you like it. And then if you want it, keep it. She ended up trying it and she ended up really liking it. She told her boyfriend about it and now both of them are using it. Although she's using the green one, her boyfriend's using the calendula one. Funny enough, both of which my skin cannot do. I can use the blue one fine. The blue one is actually a little bit more hydrating and like nourishing as I'm cleansing, but the green one and the calendula, which is the yellow one, my skin cannot handle it. But ultimately, I'm saying that I'm putting this product on this list because I just think that their marketing strategy was way too much. They were doing too much for a brand that claims to be very mindful of wasting product and trying to connect with nature. And then you have all these content creators like making these bogus content on the internet. I just think it was so stupid. And I know James Walsh, and I love James. James, I love you. James loves this product. I think it's part of his Holy Grail video, and I get it. Like I understand that people will like this product. Like my sister, like James, right? I just can't bring myself to tell you guys like you should go try this cleanser because in the back of my mind, I just can't get myself to like this cleanser. And I think that's the biggest problem with this brand and this cleanser is that there's just so many things wrong with their strategy right out of the gate. And again, like I said, I don't know if the marketer from 2 years ago is still working at Arencia. Because of that interaction with them, it really made me uncomfortable working with them, you know, moving forward. So you probably won't see me talk about Arencia at all on this channel ever again. But fast forward, also another thing. Oh my gosh, the fragrance. My sister loves it. I hate it. The fragrance is like a florally soap from the 90s and I just can't stand it. My sister's like, this is fine. I like this smell. I'm like, okay, sure. To each their own, right? I'm not going to yuck your yum simply because I don't like it. But truthfully, I don't think it's worth the money. Even my sister was like, bro, why is this cleanser so expensive? It's like 20 something dollars. I'm like, I know. That's one of my other gripes about this product is that it's so expensive for no reason. Even on sale, I don't think I've ever seen it go on sale for like $11. I think $11 is actually what this product is worth. Anything beyond $11, I don't like this product. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of you guys do like this product. Again, I'm not trying to yuck or yum. I'm just saying from my perspective, this is a product that I simply don't think anyone should spend their money on. Money is something that is hard to get these days, and I understand that. And so therefore I cannot recommend this product. But I will recommend VT Cosmetics' very similar Mochi cleanser. They don't call it the Mochi cleanser. They might as well because I feel like VT's cleanser or Mochi cleanser is more of a Mochi cleanser than Arencia. I also recently tried Whip's what's it called? Whipped mask cleanser. Sorry, Whipped pack cleanser. Same issue with Arencia, very strong fragrance, has a very similar like mochi like texture. I just am not a huge fan of that. However, when I tried VT Cosmetics Cica Mask Cleanser, which is the mochi one that I was talking about, that one is so good. That one has retinol in it, like a very small percentage. So as you're cleansing or as you're leaving it on as a mask, it's actually providing some type of retinol properties to your skin. Not saying it's a great transformation. Not saying it's a great ingredient in the product, but I do like it. Also, I think VT Cosmetics cleanser is not as stripping, and if and when I do use it as a mask, I like the feeling a lot more. It's actually a lot more easier to apply. I don't know how these influencers are applying the Arencia cleanser, but they put it on as if like it's not like as if it will stick to your skin. For some reason, maybe it's because I have oily skin. Every time I apply Arencia's Mochi cleanser, it just keeps sliding off. It never stays on my skin. So I don't know how all these influencers are making it stick to their skin on first application. It's like magic to me. But VT's mask cleanser, that one actually stuck onto my skin really well. And I think it does give you a more nourishing, moisturizing process of cleansing. And I just found that product did so much better for my pores than Arencia's. Arencia's didn't even take off my sunscreen. I was like, what are you even doing here? Like, what is the point of this product if it's not going to do what it's supposed to do? And I feel like cleansing products have only one purpose, right? To cleanse off makeup, sunscreen, grime, dirt, bacteria build up on your skin, and that's all it has to do. And If anything, cleansers give you the most immediate results, right? Visually, right? You can actually see if a cleanser works or not. Arencia, it did nothing. It irritated my skin and that was it. It brought nothing to the table that is of value. And that's why I am shitting on it so much. Again, I'm so sorry if you do like this product. I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking the product that I don't like. Okay, Ray, you really have to speed this up because it's already like a lot of minutes on this on this episode. Hopefully you guys don't mind, obviously. I'm happy to make longer videos, but I just think like I should set the tone for the first episode of the podcast and not waste all your time in case you guys are not interested in this, right? But the next product I want to talk about, I think this is the third one. Medicube Collagen Jelly Cream. That's a pink jar. Just don't get it. I know like if you have a Booster Pro, you're like, oh, it works really well with the Booster Pro. That is true. It's a great kind of like conduit product that helps with the pulsation. Is that even a word? Of the Booster Pro device. And yes, I would say it does give me a very impactful results when it comes to collagen, right? However, collagen is such a dense and chunky molecule. Topical application barely penetrates your skin, and obviously you do need the Booster Pro to really force the collagen into your skin. So that's why it's a great combination with the Booster Pro device. Honestly, it's way too expensive for no reason. I hate that there is fragrance, and I also hate the finish. It is so sticky. On top of that, the residue that it leaves on your skin, like when I wake up, like my face is stuck to the pillow, and when I go look in the mirror when I wake up, I see like it looks like I have what's the word? It looks like I have wax on my face. Like I look like a wax, like a candle man. Terrifying when I wake up with it. And so there's just so many things that are wrong with the product and that I don't like about the product that I just can't recommend it. But like I said, right, it works really well with the Booster Pro. And I think that's why people like this product so much is because it's almost like it's like a package deal, right? Like you can't use the Booster Pro unless you have this jelly cream. So my job here is to say you don't actually need the jelly cream for the Booster Pro to work. You just simply need their booster gel serum. I think that's what they call it. It's the clear tube with the clear gel. It's almost like what's it called? Like the cream or the jelly that they put on your skin when you get an ultrasound, right? It's the same idea. Your skin just needs some kind of gel for the Booster Pro to work. And so I noticed that the Booster Gel Serum, the clear one, that one works way better when it sets on your skin. You don't get that sticky residue, and it for sure will not stick your skin to the pillow when you're sleeping because I'm a side sleeper or I'm a back sleeper, but then I always wake up on my side. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but hey, if you can, leave in the comment below. But yeah, I think that the clear gel works so much better with the Booster Pro. It's a lot more convenient. You don't have to be smearing gel on your skin or on your face. I can just apply the gel on my Booster Pro and then just start, doing my whole routine with the Booster Pro. I do like that process a lot more. And so I think because of that, I do recommend the clear one over the pink one. The clear one's also cheaper. I believe you can get it for $15, just like that's like the benchmark price on Medicube's US website. You can get the booster gel, I believe, on Amazon. You can also get the booster gel on Style Korean. If not Style Korean, yes, Style. So it's actually really accessible, just like the jelly cream. I just don't know why people like the jelly cream. I think it's overhyped. Maybe people like that it's pink. Who knows? But I do prefer the Booster Gel Serum more. Again, that's the clear one, the colorless, transparent gel. That one is just so nice. It's like, especially if you put it in the fridge. Oh my gosh, if you put that in the fridge and you apply it on your Booster Pro and you applying it on your skin, oh my gosh, the best feeling ever, especially on like a summer day. But yes, yeah, that's all I have to say about the collagen jelly cream. Now, the next brand and products are gonna piss me off so much. You might just feel my wrath over your screen. It is Biodance. Biodance Bio Collagen Real Deep Mask. And this goes for all their hydrogel collagen masks. I hate them. The moment they were released, I had a very like a gut feeling. I was like, something's not right about these products. And when I finally tried it, I knew my gut feeling was right, and I should always trust my intuition, my instincts, my gut feeling, right? It broke me out. And I knew this was gonna happen because in the past when I have tried other like older types and formula of hydrogel and collagen masks, my skin would always break out. Because I have oily skin, I have large pores. If you physically cover my pores with something, there's like a 75% chance that I will develop some kind of acne or some kind of pimple. That's just how my skin is built, right? And I knew that about my skin. I knew that about this type of product prototype, right? Prototype? No. Product archetype, sorry. And so everyone was talking about it back in 2024. You kept seeing, we all kept seeing social media where people were using them overnight, on their overnight flights, and then they'll take it off mid-flight and be like, "Oh my gosh, my skin is so gorgeous." I'm like, "Girl, we know that that's not how this works." A lot of these influencers, they have actual medical treatment or surgical or aesthetic treatments where their skin will look great no matter what you put on it, right? So if the collagen mask sinks into your skin, the collagen sinks into your skin. That's not how it really works, but that's how they market it to be. And you peel it off when it's transparent. Oh my gosh, your skin's gonna look great. That's mainly because they got some kind of aesthetic treatment probably like a week ago. Their skin is already healed. It's already plumped. So this collagen mask is going to look great because it's holding on to very healthy, even skin versus someone like me who's never used Ulthera, who's never used Rejuron. None of those type of services, right? My skin is not going to be able to handle such a heavy, dense coating on my face. And so I knew that was going to happen, but I still wanted to try and give it, a fair chance. And and when I realized, oh, it doesn't work for my skin, I still kept seeing people talk about how great the product is and how much that they love it. And although I can't really prove these influencers are saying it because they're being paid by Biodance, for me it's just like there's no way in hell that every single person out there is saying that this product is amazing. And again, I know some of you guys do like this product, and that's okay. And I just find it to be such a lie. It's also way too expensive for no reason. I'm like, for a product that doesn't actually, like, collagen doesn't work like that, right? Collagen doesn't dissolve and sink to your skin like that. That's not how it works. And for people to, or I should say, for the brand to market it that way and let influencers take that narrative and run with it, that's a huge issue for me. That's a huge red flag for me, and I don't like that. Now, if I have to recommend something in a, as an alternative to this one, I would say Medicube's wrapping mask or any kind of like wrapping mask where you have to take it out of a tube and like apply it. Those are better for my skin because those dry down quicker and therefore I can peel it off quicker and then resume my skincare routine afterwards. Whereas the Biodance, it's like they tell you, oh, you can sleep with it overnight, so about 8 hours. I'm gonna go to bed with it and grow pimples while I'm sleeping. Like, no, thank you. That's my major gripe with Biodance. I just I can't. I can't. For the love of God, I cannot. To me, it's a huge lie. If they sell hydrogel masks for like $1 each, okay, fine. Like I won't be too upset because like people can buy it for fun and see if they like it or not. But for them, I think right now like their unit price for each mask is about, was it $5 or $6? Because I think one pack comes in four, and they charge about $20. So that makes it $5, right? $5 for one mask. That is crazy to me. Do not ever tell me that you spent $5 on a hydrogel mask. Babes, what are you doing? I had to pause because I wanted to make sure that the mic is still, like it still has charge and power. Like I hate to be sitting here and then realize like, oh, nothing was recorded. The next product I want to talk about is Delphyr, and it is their Boba cream. Do you remember last year when Delphyr was just kind of like entering the scene? You see a lot of people talk about like that, talk about their bubble toner. That product is actually really good, but then they got a little bit too excited and they started releasing this thing called a Boba cream, which is like this bakuchiol capsule cream. And I think they were collaborating with an influencer for this, and they had this influencer, oh my gosh, that poor girl, drinking the product. And again, I hate when brands do that. That's false advertisement. Do not show me that someone is like drinking the skincare when you're not supposed to be drinking the skincare. Why are we doing that? Ooh, that just gets me really angry. Oh my gosh. Back to this boba cream. It broke me out the first time I used it. And I think it's because it's just so dense. It's such a suffocating product. There's so much going on. My skin was not able to function after my first try. I had to pause after my first try and be like, hey, maybe we don't do this again. It's like going on a bad date. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I want to go on a date with this person again. You're going to be like, yeah, let's never go on a date again. Let's never see each other again. That's how I felt with this boba cream. It is insane how skincare beauty marketing can take things so far and people will just follow and because I went on their Instagram under that video where the content creator was drinking the boba cream, drinking the boba cream. People in the comment section are like, "Oh my gosh, this looks so good! I can't wait to try it." I'm like, if you watch someone drink skincare and your instant reaction is to be like, "I can't wait to drink it also," or "I can't wait to like, also use this," and not realize how crystal clear of false advertising and really irresponsible marketing is, that's an issue for the brand, but also for the consumer. At this point, it's like I should be able to blame the consumer for being this stupid to drink skincare. Ray, calm down. Calm down. It's not that serious, Ray. Calm down. And also on top of that, capsule creams. I would say this product was one of the first, or not the sorry, not the first. This was one of the new age skincare, K beauty skincare product that is making this, these capsule creams popular again. In the past, we've had capsule creams. This is not the first product that actually is a capsule cream. We've seen it with Medicube, right? But even before Medicube, there was Meta Peel. That's the Gold Age Tox H8 cream. And even back then, my skin was like, "This is way too much, y'all. This is way too much. We don't need to be doing all of this, right?" And again, maybe it's because my skin is like just way too sensitive and easily sensitized. But I should also mention that the influencer that they collaborated with, Delphyr, I forgot who they collaborated with, but it was a very young girl. She has to be like in her early 20s. When you have active reproduced collagen in your skin, you can put anything on your skin as long as you're not like acne prone skin. You can put anything on your skin and your skin's gonna look great. And I'm not saying that, this content creator is lying. I'm not saying that Delphyr is lying, but to intentionally partner with someone who is that young and say that this cream is transformative, to me, it's really big bullshit. If you want to understand if a product really works on average skin, look for creators who are at least in their 30s. If you are following creators who are in their 20s and they're saying like, "Oh my gosh, this product transformed my skin," chances are those are lies. There's no way that in your 20s your skin needs transformation. Again, unless it's acne prone skin. Let's say you have like really bad acne flare-ups really easily, right? Due to hormonal issues, due to dietary issues, right? Then yes, like sure, trust and maybe like, keep watching a lot of these 20 something year olds who are going through this, right? But when it comes to these bakuchiao products, these anti-aging products, right, or these slow aging, well aging products, right, you have to look for content creators and reviewers and influencers who are in an age bracket that actually has these concerns. You can't be looking at 20 something year olds. And for them to collaborate with this 20 something year old's creator for a product that is meant to remove fine lines, restore plumpness, uh, reverse the effects of premature aging, right? Girl has none of those issues. So what do you mean you're gonna sign a contract with this person and try to sell this product as such? To me, it's bogus. If they had partnered with a much more mature content creator, it would make more sense for me, and I possibly would be able to relate to the product a lot more. Maybe I'll even like the product a lot more. Not saying that the age of the content creator will influence my judgment, but I'm just saying, like, as a consumer, I would have to think about stuff like this because in this day and age, Gen Z creators are much quicker to land a contract with these brands, especially K beauty, because you want that fresh face, you want that bouncy, plump skin when you do close-ups, right? Versus someone like me who's in his 30s or someone who is older than me, right? When you do close-ups, you're gonna see a lot of so-called impurities or so-called imperfections or whatever, and that's gonna hurt your brand a lot more. But I feel like isn't that the whole point of a skincare brand or a cosmetics brand, to really show the true results? That's the question I have, right? And I don't understand why brands are literally trying to break away from doing that. And so that's what really put me off with this whole collaboration. That's what really put me off with this whole product. Again, Delphyr is a really good brand. I like their liposome line. I like their liposome line a lot. And you guys have seen me talk about it on this channel. It is just this product that made me question their whole existence, my whole existence. Let's move on to, I think this is the last product of the day. Yes, it is. It's Tocobo. Okay, you guys know how much I dislike the Tocobo sunstick already, the blue one. I think their green one is actually a really good sunstick, but the blue one made no sense to me. It was like the first Korean sunstick to really make a huge splash in the beauty world because not a lot of brands at the time were doing sunsticks. Not a lot of brands were trying to invest in sunsticks. Tocobo was like, we're going to do that and we're going to dump a lot of money in marketing and make sure that people know what this is, right? All's fair in marketing as long as you're doing your due diligence, right? And so for me, I think this Cotton Airy Sunstick, which is the US version, and the Cotton Soft Sunstick, which is the Korean version, I think they're not a bad product, except for some reason Tocobo decided to like dump a huge ton of fragrance into it. And to me, the fragrance was so overpowering. I thought it was like a deodorant when I first saw it because you twist it and then the balm comes up like a stick, right? And so I was like so confused. I was like, do I put this under my arm or is this going on my face? That was my first and only issue with it. But as I kept using it, even for someone like me who has, who's on the fair slash medium side of like skin tones and skin color, I noticed that this sunstick has like a very noticeable blue residue. And that's because it has like this powder in it where it will kind of like break off from the actual balm and go in your skin. And that's, the wax and powder and the UV filters, I should say, that goes in your skin. You're supposed to blend it in. The powdery and chalkiness of the sunstick makes it so hard to blend. And I feel like that just goes against the purpose of a sunstick, is that a sunstick is really meant for you to not have to touch your face when you reapply sunscreen. And if I'm applying this sunscreen and I have to use my fingers to rub the powder and residue in, why use a sunstick? Why not just use the sun fluid, right? So that's my question. On top of that, I just feel like because the blue residue is noticeable on my fair slash medium skin tone, it's going to be even more noticeable on dark skin because of color theory, right? That pigment of blue would look even more ashy and blue on someone with darker brown or darker black skin. To me, that's like a huge issue. And I don't think Tocobo ever addressed it because I think when they first launched in 2022, that issue was there. I've tried their newest updated version 2025, which is last year. They haven't resolved it, so I don't think they're ever going to. And maybe because not many people are bringing this issue up, and they're just kind of like accepting the fact that there's going to be residues. And to me, that's a big no-no. I'm like, that's a big issue for me. Now, if I have to recommend something in lieu of this Tocobo Sunstick, is my favorite, Abib's Quick Sunstick. It's a transparent a sunstick where there's no residue, although I feel like it does leave you with a very dewy, shiny finish. So if you're not into that, I'm sorry. But I do think that the Beebs Quick Sunstick works a lot better. It has a better shape, first of all, because it looks like a gua sha. It feels like a gua sha when you use it. It doesn't give you that, the very chalky residue. Now, if you're like, well, Ray, I really, really can't deal with the shiny greasy finish. Abib has the Airy Sunstick, which is their chalkier or powdery formula. That one gives you more of a mattifying finish. That one also does give you some kind of residue. But the good thing is that the stick itself, I wish I had it in front of me, but the stick itself has like this yellowish, light beige orange color that once you do go over your skin with a few swipes, you actually don't notice that type of residue anymore, which is great because it does work better for darker skin tone. The Airy Sunstick from Abib, it melts better, faster, and more evenly than the Tocobo blue powdery sunstick. I don't know why I'm demonstrating on my face as if I put it on my face. I have nothing on my face right now except for this really sticky PDRN balm. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts on Tocobo's Sunstick. They do have that, like I said, they do have that green one, which is really good. It does have the same issue of like things falling, powdery and chalky stuff coming off of it. But the green one has such a nice finish. It's not too greasy. It's actually really cooling and calming on my skin. My sister that's her favorite sunstick, and I do like it too. But yeah, if you are looking for a sunstick, I think my alternatives are already pretty clear. Why I do like those alternatives over Tocobo's blue sunstick. I think my takeaway is when it comes to virality and influencers and content creators talking about products that they so-called love and like, is that you really have to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to understand that there are a lot of content creators who are paid by brands that they don't actually disclose, which is a bad thing. Then there's also creators who do disclose their partnership, which is a great thing. But then, whether or not the content creator is truthful, it's up to our judgment. One telltale sign is that if a product's really viral and you see big name content creators, meaning like they have millions of followers and subscribers, talk about it, and then you also see a lot of like smaller creators talk about it, it's a red flag for me, because it just means that they're paying the big content creators, they're not paying the smaller content creators, but they're still getting all the videos on the internet to talk about that one product to generate all the buzz. Whether or not you care to buy it, the name of the product sticks in your head, and when you see it at a store, or when you're online shopping, you're going to be like, oh, I've heard about this. I heard that a lot of people are talking about it, therefore it must be good, right? Whereas virality and popularity should not always translate to honesty. Just because there's a lot of people talking about a certain product doesn't mean that they are honest. I'm not saying that this applies to everything, but you have to, make a sound judgment. Be very critical of what you think about certain things, right? At least that's how I approach it. And for me, the point of this episode of this podcast is just to be very transparent about how I feel about the industry, and using these products as an example of how we should approach a beauty industry that relies heavily on virality and a lot of like behind the scenes deals that we don't get to see. We, as in I'm also a consumer, I do buy products myself. So I've learned to be very critical of the content creators and the brands that I'm seeing on my feeds on social media, making sure that I don't fall for all these traps. And of course, sometimes I let myself fall for products and marketing strategies because their packaging is really cute, right? I can name like a couple where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I will buy this simply because the packaging is great. If anything, if the product doesn't work, I'll have a really nice bottle that I could keep as a vase or something, right? Who knows? But things like that happens, right? But I'm not trying to say like we should just ignore all influencers and all content creators. I think there are content creators who are doing their due diligence, who are checking off all the boxes of their integrity and being like, okay, this I feel good about this. I do want to share this with my viewers and subscribers and audience. There are also creators who are like, I want to make a quick buck here, and I don't care for my followers. I don't care for the people who support me, as long as I get my money. Both of these types of people exist, right? And there's no way of escaping it. That's what makes this world round, right? That is so philosophical. I think I'm going to wrap up this episode of this podcast. It's been really fun. I do enjoy making this podcast. I think I'll keep doing it, but we'll see how it does for once this episode airs. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I will leave all the products that I do think is worth the money in the description. I'm not going to leave the links to the products I don't believe in the description, because what's the point, right? I'm not going to sit here and be like, don't buy these, but here are the links in case you want to buy it, right? I feel like that's very hypocritical of me. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much for watching the podcast. If you're if you have your screen on the entire time. I don't know how this works. I don't think I'll be uploading this to like the major podcast platforms. I'll have to figure out how to do that first of all, and if and when I do end up figuring that out, I'll let you know. But for now, this will be a YouTube platform exclusive podcast, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, I don't know what to say. But I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be safe, stay hydrated, be gentle with yourself. 안녕.